Hi there. I'm forewarning you. This is going to be a nerdy video that you're more than welcome to, 2x the speed of. But this person commented, where are you shopping? I don't have an Amazon Fresh store near me. I'm shopping at Aldi. All of my weekly grocery hauls are from Aldi, and they are the cheapest by me. And my choices are Walmart. Target has my Target's not a super Target, so it just has a minimal grocery area. Publix and Winn-Dixie. I'm not including Whole Foods because I don't do any of my grocery shopping there. And so Aldi is my store. And grocery prices, even when you're in the same state as somebody else, they're going to vary, and what's available is going to vary. And I had said that since last year, if you were to compare a year ago, I was getting less food for more money. About $30-ish I'm spending more. And this individual said that they're getting more product in their groceries for less money, by like $100. And that is amazing. I am so happy for you. I am not being snarky or obnoxious. Any way we can be saving money right now, and things are improving for you in that way, good for you. And I'm really glad that's happening for you. I think it's easy to get lost in, oh, this is improving for me, so it should be improving for everybody. And sometimes that's just not the case. And I think that kind of applies to grocery prices and food availability. But it got me thinking, was what I saying accurate? And my plan was to recreate my grocery haul from like April of 24 using today's prices, because I use Instacart, and fortunately for Aldi, prices are very minimally increased compared to the store. Sometimes there's sales on Instacart that Aldi isn't offering, and some things are the same price. So when we shop in store versus Instacart, it's less than $7 to $10 difference, and then we're not shopping down the aisle of shame and making impulse purchases. So in the long run, it's saving us money, but I digress. But I was going to compare an Instacart order to an Instacart order, and I tried doing that, but the stuff we bought a year ago, some of those things were out of stock now, that it would in no way represent with any accuracy the prices of today compared to a year ago with a specific grocery haul. So instead, I looked up things that we purchase regularly, every week, every other week. And you're going to be saying, when did you do this? I did this at like 6:30 in the morning during my me time before I got my kids up and stuff. And you're going to say, Melissa, seriously? Yes, seriously. I was not put out by doing this because I am intrigued by this. So here's my little notes, my 6:30 a.m. gibberish notes that I think I'll be able to understand later in the day. And here's what I found. Some things stayed the same in price, like peanut butter. $4.85 a year ago, still $4.85 for like the jumbo-ish size. Tater tots, still $3.85 a bag. Things like so certain things did stay the same. Some things did go down. On average, between 3 cents to a nickel, things went down. Like a can of tuna went down 3 cents. But for what we're purchasing regularly, the prices increased. And you might think, oh, it only went up by 30 cents or 20 cents or 10 cents. But those add up. And I attempted to do some averaging to give an overview of why our particular grocery bill has increased. So let's get into it. We'll start off with eggs because that's what's on everybody's mind. A year ago, I was paying $2.09 for a dozen, and now $5.49. Frozen meatballs, because I use those in the crock pot somewhat regularly, they were $6.85 a year ago and now $7.65. My husband's case of Coke, and yes, we buy this. He gets weather migraines, and it's one way to help combat it, and he takes it with him to school so he can function. It was $8.45 a year ago and now $8.75. Aldi's versions of like Go-Gurt, their yogurt tubes were $1.95 and now $2.05. Frozen waffles, $2.09 to $2.39. A box of tissues, $1.25 to $1.45. A 12-pack of toilet paper was $6.05 and now $8.25. A thing of fresh blueberries, $2.75 to $3.29. An 8-pack of seltzer, like flavored seltzer, Aldi's own brand, $3.85 to $4.39. A can of kidney beans, 89 cents to 95 cents. You know, the 4 sticks of butter, $4.09 to $4.15. Cottage cheese, $2.75 to $3.05. Flavored coffee creamer, $2.95 to $3.05. And a carton of egg whites, $4.19 to $5.15. And again, they sound minimal. And if it were just a few items, it wouldn't have a massive impact. But, and this was just an example. We buy other things. I just pooped out after a while of looking. But I'm trying to buy less, being more mindful, waiting for things to fully run out before purchasing and things like that. But on average, a year ago, I was buying 55 items. And those could have been duplicates, like the 10 of my key lime bottles. And 55 items a year ago are costing the same amount, but instead I'm buying 30 to 40 items, but I'm paying the same price. And so the increases were anywhere from 10 cents to 80 cents per item. Some were like $1 or more, like eggs. But let's say every item we purchased on average went up 40 cents an item. Again, averaging, some went up 10 cents, some went up 80 cents, just at an average of 40 cents. Then our grocery bill went up $24. And then depending upon how much you buy of a singular item, it's going to increase. So that's where I'm seeing what I assumed was like a $30, sometimes $40 increase. That's where it is. It's these small little amounts are adding up, especially if you're buying the items that are being increased, in our case. So yeah, that's the story. And like the last 2 weeks, for example, for us, were more than I was hoping for, simply because I let things run out and it was time to repurchase them, and it always seems to happen at the same time, doesn't trickle all at once. So that's the story. And like I said, even if we were to go shopping inside of Aldi, the price difference is minimal, and we would be more at risk of impulse purchases of, ooh, that looks good, because Aldi has some unique items that you don't know you're going to stumble upon, and you're going to be like, ooh, corn dip, ooh, that candle. And it's just another way to avoid it. So yeah, but I appreciate your post. I in no way thought you were throwing shade or were being snarky or obnoxious or, you know, accusing me of not being truthful. If anything, it got me thinking, and I wanted to look into it more. So yeah, that was it. Nerdiness done. But I hope y'all are doing okay, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.